FM. What are we talking about today? Dangote Petroleum Refinery said it will commence the distribution of a significant national initiative designed to transform Nigeria's fuel distribution landscape. The company said the distribution will commence on August 15, 2025. The refinery will begin the distribution of premium motor spirits, PMS, and diesel to marketers, petrol dealers, manufacturers, telecoms firms, aviation, and other larger users across the country, with free logistics to boost the distribution network. The question is, what does this all mean? Luckily, we have an oil and gas expert who will be here to break it down for us. He will explain how this distribution will work in layman terms. And of course, that decision has created reactions from so many people, especially marketers, where the Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Petroleum, kicked against it. The association said the development could lead to a monopoly in disguise and pose a significant job loss threat to Nigeria. And of course, Dangote, on the other hand, have come out to say the opposite is the case, that it will create jobs. But our main focus today is for someone to help us break down what this distribution network mean. How will this work, and how will this affect the ordinary Nigerian? Will it reduce the price of petrol in Nigeria? Will it increase it? We're going to have more petrol in the filling station instead of the scarcity that we get very often, especially festive seasons. And then secondly, reactions continue to trail President Bola Tinubu's visit of Benue State. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party LP in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, has berated President Bola Tinubu and Benue State Governor Reverend Father I.C. Nthelea over his alleged insensitivity to the tragedy that befell the people of Benue State. President Tinubu was in Benue yesterday on a condolence visit following the massacre of roughly 200 people by suspected armed herdsmen. Obi, however, expressed disappointment that the president and his host, instead of taking into account the solemn responsibility of mourning with victims of the attack, chose to turn the condolence visit into a campaign rally. Although the president visited victims of the attack at the hospital, but he didn't go to the community that were affected by this attack. And of course, reactions have been trailing that. There was also a video circulating online where primary school children were left under the rain to sing and clap and dance, welcoming the president. All these and more we'll be talking today on Matters. You can call me Solo. You can call me Mr. Solo. You can call me Souls, S-O-L-S. You can call me Mr. Souls. But officially, I am Solomon of Fem. Again, welcome to Matters. Hello, hello, hello. If you're just tuning in, this is Matters and Voice of the People 90.3 FM. And if you're just tuning into, we're talking about Dangote Refinery. What does this distribution mean? Luckily, we have someone that will help us break it down. He's an oil and gas expert in this regard. Thank you for joining us. Elvis Asia is a legal practitioner and current affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us on the show today, sir. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Solomon, thank you for having me on the program. I can hear you.
Okay. So let's go to the first topic of discussion, which, of course, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery plan to distribute petrol and diesel nationwide. Can you help us break it down? Because this looks like a theory. So how will this work? How will this distribution work?
What Dangote has done is that in order to, of course, the Dangote Refinery is a business, it's a profit-making business, and so they have designed a system that would enhance their profitability, and of course make petrol and diesel easily accessible across the country. So what they have done is that they have brought in about 4,000 CNG power trucks that would be involved in directly supplying diesel and petrol to marketers, to large-scale buyers, aviation companies and other major buyers of the products. So what that means is that the middlemen that we used to have, the truck people that used to go and assemble their truck at the factory to lift products, all of that will be eliminated. Dangote will now be able to directly. So, for example, if you are a large-scale buyer of diesel or petrol in your house, you can place an order, and your company, you can place an order, and then it will be delivered to you. At your filling station, you can place an order, and it's delivered to you. You don't have to go through middlemen, and this would significantly lower logistics cost. And of course, which will mean some savings. Don't forget that CNG trucks are very cost-effective. They're lower in cost in terms of maintenance and the fuel consumption. So that would count in the final cost of the product. What they also want to do is to improve market efficiency and access. Today you have a lot of trucks, on our roads, and many of them are uncontrolled, and sometimes it's difficult to reach very difficult areas of the country. And so with this structured transport and delivery system that has been structured by Dangote, it will be very easy. So there will be market efficiency. You remove all these middlemen that would create artificial challenges that for sometimes disrupt the flow of the products across the country. And another benefit you're going to have with this kind of arrangement is environmental and safety benefits. CNG is more environmental friendly. The world is moving from heavy burning fuels to more environmental friendly fuels like CNG, and so and of course that what does it also mean to me that the CNG business economy will be boosted, more people will be employed, CNG stations will be created. So it's quite frankly a win-win situation for Nigerians, and we hope that it will also eventually tell on the final cost of the product, because don't forget that logistics takes about 10 to 30% of the final cost of the product that you buy at your petrol stations. So when you remove that or reduce it significantly, like Dangote wants to do, that would, help Nigerians. I mean, we know what inflation is right now. So anything that can help Nigerians to reduce costs is something that should be welcome.
So for those of us that don't know, what is CNG?
CNG is compressed natural gas. It's just like you have, you have petrol, you have diesel. There's a compressed natural gas that is more efficient, and it's very, cost effective. It's a cheap fuel I mean, in recent times, the federal government has been trying to get people to convert some of their public transport vehicles to CNG powered vehicles so as to reduce the cost. It's not up to 20% of what fuel costs, for example. So if your vehicle is using compressed natural gas, it's a form of gas. It's similar to what you use
to do your cooking at home.
similar to cooking gas,
Okay.
but specially designed in a way that it can power vehicles and in a more cost-effective, environmental friendly manner, and that's what it is. Yes.
So if the world is now moving to CNG now, what now happens to the normal petrol that we're used to in Nigeria?
Well, petrol is still going to be here. I mean, it's to take a lot of time before you can phase out petrol, because you know that petrol has some advantages that CNG may not necessarily have. CNG is more more in quote dirtier fuel compared to petrol. Petrol, moves your vehicle faster. It's a much stronger fuel compared to CNG. So fuel will still be here, but Nigeria has more reserves of natural gas as compared to crude oil, which from where you get petrol. So the future is bright for Nigeria either way. If we shift more to natural gas, including CNG, then we'll be able to, utilize, the limitless reserve of the product that we have in the country. And Nigeria is actually a natural gas nation with a little crude oil. But over the years, the focus has been on crude oil and petrol. And so this is a shift. And interestingly, natural gas, including CNG, it's supposed to be a more efficient, a more environmental friendly fuel. But over the years, we have got used to this simple, easy crude oil. And so nothing will happen to Nigeria because we're likely to make more money if we shift to natural gas because we have more of it compared to crude oil.
Now, we didn't know much about CNG, before. I think the fuel subsidy, do you think it's the fuel subsidy that's now forcing the, oil and gas industry now to look into the CNG as a better alternative? Because before now, all we know is just fuel, the normal cooking gas and kerosene. We don't hear much or anything actually about CNG.
Well, I mean, before the removal of subsidy, we had, I mean, I've always been hearing about CNG for a while.
I mean, you're oil and gas expert, so you would know. But ordinary Nigerians like us knew nothing about it.
It wasn't all over the place until fuel subsidy removal, when the price became almost unbearable for Nigerians, and we're now looking for alternatives that will be cheaper compared to what we have with fuel. And so the shift towards CNG was, in quote, midwifed by the removal of subsidy. The search for a cleaner and cheaper fuel as a result of the high cost of fuel, of petrol. Reopened, rekindled the interest in CNG, and it's in a few countries. CNG is actually widely used, because people have recognized that, like I said earlier, it's a much more cost-effective fuel, and so they've been using that over the years. But we, in this part of the world, we have got used to natural gas, natural crude oil, petrol, and then diesel. So yes, you are right that the removal of subsidy has rekindled and the interest in CNG, which is a good development for Nigeria. In the past, this used to be a wasted product. In the course of trying to drill for even crude oil, there's a lot of gas that would have been wasted. You heard of gas flaring, right? You heard of the issue of gas flaring. So what we are doing now with CNG, with the renewed focus on natural gas, is that all those gas that were being flared and are now being put to
good
important
use.
use, rather than just allowing it to hover around our environment, create chaos in Niger Delta. Even some people have linked it to cancer and all of that.
So what does is it used for? Is it just cars? By the way, of course, you mentioned the cooking gas. Can it be used in generators? Can it be used in the cooking gas, or just an automobile thing?
Oh, it's used for cooking. That's what we have known it for before now.
Oh, the normal cooking gas, that we used to. Is that a CNG?
It's similar to it's the process for creating it is similar.
Okay.
It's just that this is now done in such a way that it can fuel automobiles, it can fuel generators, it can fuel anything that has an engine that requires fuel. You can put in appropriate equipment that would enable it to be used, for all of those. So it's not just for automobiles alone.
So how is the distribution work in terms of buying? I mean, we know our filling stations in Nigeria are just basically petrol. How, I guess, how many filling stations do we know that sells the CNG?
One of the challenges that people have raised is the ease with which people can have access to
exactly
gas.
Unlike the petrol that we feel.
Yeah, so it's an issue. But with what Dangote is doing now, more focus will be on CNG, and that will mean that stations will now be springing up solely to sell CNG. In fact, from some of the documents I've seen with Dangote plan, they also intend to, establish such stations across the country to be able to power these 4,000 CNG trucks. And in the process, stations will now be springing up simply to sell CNG. And so over time, we'll overcome the challenge with supply, which is not very common at the moment.
Now, I know you're not a mechanical engineer, but do we have enough cars, in Nigeria that have been converted to CNG? And do we have cars that can work on dual purpose for both fuels and CNG?
Well, I mean, we today the federal government has this plan to assist people, particularly the transporters, to convert their vehicles to CNG, to become CNG enabled. Today, people also now have dual system where you can choose either
which
to
one
use
you want to work with,
or to use a CNG. So that's a possibility today. We have, for many transporters are buying into that. I know that in most states of the country, or as like in Lagos, they have a plant here where they do these conversions. You apply, and people have expressed the fear that the cost is very high. But
to do the conversion.
To do the conversion, but there are places where you can do the conversion today, but it's always people are advised to do it in approved and regulated places because of the peculiar nature of CNG gas. We don't want a situation where it becomes a problem and vehicles are being burned down because of improper installation. So people are better off going to government approved plants where these conversions can be done. It's going on in the country at the moment.
So, do we even have enough cars and machines and mechanical equipment, that actually work with a CNG besides the conversion, as in like going to a car shop and tell them, I want to get a car, but I want the one that's already comes with a CNG, or I want to get a generator. I don't want the fuel generator. I want the CNG without having to convert.
Well, I mean, we don't have much of that today in Nigeria, but over time that's going to become the norm. I mean, Dangote was able to get these 4,000 trucks, not from Nigeria, I'm sure, but from somewhere. And so, which means that car dealers who are placing orders for vehicles can begin to tell the companies they are buying from that, look, this is now the new thing in Nigeria. So make the vehicles have dual fueling capabilities. And so we'll begin to have that. We have heard of keke, what people call tricycles, and what we call keke napep. Some businessman I saw online the other time is having an arrangement to bring in CNG powered keke napeps. In fact, people are even going to the over time we would have that. But that is going to eventually have to compete with electric vehicles, which is now also making waves globally.
I actually wanted to ask that, but I mean, you've already answered it. So, but what does this mean for ordinary Nigerians? Will it get to a time where we'll go back to what it once was, where we were enjoying the privilege to being an oil-producing nation, except at this time without the baggage of subsidy, where we can access this CNG, very cheap and very affordable?
Well, I mean, over time, like I said, the infrastructure will be built to support enough access, to give access to CNG, and it might become commonplace, like what you have with petrol today. But like I said, it's not going to change the fact that Nigeria is an oil and gas producing nation. Nigeria has a lot of gas, and Nigeria can, gain a lot of benefits from gas, because people are moving away from fossil fuels like petrol and trying to get, environmentally friendly fuels like CNG and all of that. And so, in the interim, before the world phases out completely, perhaps completely oil and gas, we need to now move to these safer fuels and take the benefit of it, since we have a lot of it. Because, like I said, there's going to be a huge competition with electric vehicles that are now making waves globally. So Nigerians would continue to benefit from it, and hopefully the pricing would remain relatively low compared to other fuels. Thankfully, Dangote Refinery is it's a multi-facility that produces practically everything that has to do with oil and gas. So I want to believe that they should be able to, produce this and ensure that the price remain reasonably affordable for Nigerians.
Now, talking about Dangote, of course, there are fears that this will cause monopoly. Another thing that Dangote would dominate, every other company with, when you take into account already some of the sectors and some of the things already dominating, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa. Is that a worry?
I think, we are mischaracterizing what Dangote is seeking to do.
I mean, he's a businessman after all.
Yeah, exactly. So what Dangote is seeking to do is more like a vertical integration by private business. But we have the petroleum industry today under the Petroleum Industry Act. It's a deregulated market, and so players in the market are free to introduce whatever innovative approach they want to innovate in order to take their own share of the market and make profit. So that's what Dangote is doing now.
He's having an unfair advantage. I mean, he's already the richest man in Africa. How do you compete with that?
I don't think being the richest man in Africa gives you an unfair advantage. Yes, I understand with that all he has money, a big conglomerate and he has the leverage and is able to deploy resources, is able to even fund whatever it is that he's doing and all of that. But this can intensify competition. When Dangote Refinery started operation, we learned that some marketers were still importing fuel from other parts of the world. And we're also now aware that some people are building plants, building their own refineries. And there are modular refineries also springing up. So everybody would have the ability within the market to, like I said, introduce any product or innovation that would ensure that they gain a fair share of the market. And then, of course, there are regulators. So I think in order to assuage the fear of monopoly, perhaps regulators will come up with regulation, for example, that says that for you to do a direct supply, it must be that you are supplying a certain amount of petrol or diesel, so that it will be like you are supplying people in their homes and all of that. But you're actually supplying major marketers, you are supplying major buyers. And so you will still need the marketers to be able to distribute to ordinary Nigerians. You still have to go to a filling station near you. And that filling station only just have the access now to order petrol or diesel from Dangote and receive it directly at the station. But for me to fuel my car, Dangote cannot come and supply to my car. I will still have to buy. So they will still be there, and all of that. So it's really not monopoly in the sense that people are saying. I think their fears are quite appreciated, because when something new is coming to any market, it's always those who are there will be afraid. I remember when systems like Bolt and Uber came. The conventional
taxis on the road.
Taxis. I mean, some even protested and all of that. Some try to use regulation to frustrate them. But today it's easy for you to it's something similar. So if you're a major marketer, if you are a major buyer or user of the product, you can order from Dangote with your phone rather than doing so through other marketers in the system. So it's more like a transformation of the market, not a monopoly per se. So that's the way I see it.
It's a complete overhaul, actually.
Yeah, it's a transformation of the market, not a monopoly. Yeah.
Now, there are also fears of threats to jobs, particularly the Petroleum Product Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Petroleum. They've kicked against this distribution plan, in saying it poses a significant job threat to Nigeria. Do you agree with that?
I don't think it's going to be loss of job in quote that would result from this. I think again it's going to be more like a transformation in the workforce, because don't forget that if you are bringing in 4,000 trucks, people will be employed, drivers, managers, and all of that. And then with the CNG system that's been introduced, that is a whole labor market that will be satisfied with this arrangement. So, and then, like I just told you, we're still going to need the marketers, because what he's saying now is that marketers can buy directly from him, and he will supply you wherever you are, and that will reduce the cost. And so, in fact, he's going to actually create new jobs in the market. There will be some change, job transformation, more like, but not job loss. It's just like you have artificial intelligence coming out today. And, some people would, if you are used to your traditional way of doing things, you might lose that job. But the artificial intelligence system can actually assist you to do other jobs that will give you more money, So that's the way I see it. I don't think it's going to amount to loss of jobs. A lot more jobs will be created. A lot more new opportunities will be created. This is more like a transformation. So those, if you were, and then don't forget that we have a system of distribution that is uncoordinated. that is, opaque, that is archaic. You have so many outdated vehicles. They are breaking down every day, causing a lot of traffic, and nobody's regulating them. So you're not going to have a structured system. So all these, talks that used to control that arrangement will not have to come under a well-structured system, and that would be good for the economy.
Okay, I think all what's needed now is, for the federal government to relevant agencies, I mean, the National Orientation Agency to, have a huge part to play here, sensitizing Nigerians on these new changes, because I'm sure lots of ordinary Nigerians don't know much about the CNGs. You just know the normal petrol, and sensitization awareness will be key in this regard.
I mean, that should be expected. I think that when the federal government, as part of the attempt to shift focus away from petrol and get people to have access to cheaper fuel, they roll out some of these programs and encourage people to buy into it. But after a while, when people, it seems that we're adjusting to the new inflationary trend and the new pricing system. It seems that the hype around it is dying down. So you are very right that this is an opportunity for the focus on CNG to be giving the broad as broad as possible the publicity that's required, so that people can begin to have access and explore these other options, reduce their costs. Because when you have an economy such as what we have right now, with skyrocketing inflation and complete destruction of the entire system, you need to explore options that would reduce your cost. And CNG is one of those options that people can key in, particularly the transporters, and in the hope that that will eventually now lead to a reduction, for example, in transportation costs and all of that.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to the next topic for discussion, where, of course, reactions continue to trail President Bola Tinubu's visit of Benue State. And then a lot of people have come out to say several things. There have been video circulating online. They are saying he didn't visit the actual community, Yelwata, and so many other communities that were really affected, for him to go and see the extent of destruction that has been done to those communities. He just did a Makode thing, visited, of course, visiting the victims of those attacks. It wasn't a bad thing, but people needed him to do more than the usual rhetorics and saying security, do this and do that. And of course, video circulating online of skilled children under the rain waiting for the president to come with drums and singing. And of course, the presidential candidate of Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, has also lent his voice to this criticism, berating the president and the Benue State Governor, Reverend Father Aisantalea, over their alleged insensitivity to the tragedy that befell the people. What's your reaction to it? I'm sure you've followed the trend, you've seen the president, you've watched some of the clips. What do you make of his visit to Benue State?
Well, in the first place, it took a whole lot of protests and complaints to different quarters for the president to see the need to visit Benue. And so when he decided to do that, some of us were like, well, I mean, it's better late than never. But shockingly, the president, unfortunately, is unable to distance himself from his nature. The president is simply a politician, a political animal. He doesn't really understand the pulse of the people. He doesn't care about the pulse of the people. In fact, he will tell you that the people hate him, they criticize him, and all of that. He doesn't care. What he cares.
Talking about the difference between actual governance and plain politics.
Exactly. So what he cares about essentially the optics of politics, politicking, and you can see that the Benue government they were advertising is coming on newspapers. They were lining the street with students, practically forcing people to welcome him. I mean, people that are mourning the death over 200 people. It's shocking. See, some of the things we see in Nigeria are things that sometimes in your quiet moments you begin to wonder whether we are actually normal human beings, or maybe we came from space or some other forgotten part of the earth. Because for you, you are going to see people that have been charged, like children killed. I mean, some of those horrible videos that we have seen, and then you go there, in a celebratory mood. People are coming out to dance, and you are putting it on newspaper with public funds again, and then and then you more or less misdiagnose, like some people have said, what the real issues are, because it simply means as president you don't even have a hang on what the real issue is, and in the process I mean it was an insulting visit, I must say. It's quite sad and disappointing that the president would do that. We expected to see a president who would feel the pulse of the people, who would identify with the sufferings that those people have. I mean, we have heard of stories of the whole family being wiped out, being burnt to ashes, and then the president goes there to be playing politics. I mean, come on.
It is sad. It is sad, really. So, but do you agree with Peter Obi's assertion? I mean, he's an opposition, presidential candidate. Apparently, of course, we don't know what platform he will use to campaign next. We don't know, but when someone like Peter Obi and Atiku, criticizing the president, it's easy to be dismissed as, well, an opposition, doing what they are meant to do, criticizing the government.
Well, I mean, Mr. Peter Obi is doing what he should do. I don't even need a Peter Obi to tell me that what the president and this administration is doing as it relates to Rivers.
Some will say he's also playing politics. He's also playing the game.
Well, I mean, everybody's playing politics, but you need to identify with the people. That's my field. Politics can be played. You see, the people are the ones that should honorably dictate who their leader will be, and so your politics should be about embracing the people. It should be about appealing to the consciousness of the people. It should be about assuaging the numerous challenges that the people are facing. So when you act in gross disregard of that, you don't need a Peter Obi or any other person to tell you that this is completely wrong. This is all wrong, all shades of wrong. I mean, you woke up from your slumber after an outcry from the fact that people are not. Look at the war between Israel and Iran today. How many people have died? I mean, these are two countries warring, right? And then we don't have such. It's not as if we are fighting another country, and then our people are being slaughtered, killed. They are locked in their homes, set ablaze, and then you are playing politics. I don't need any Peter Obi or any other person to come and tell me that this is not right. And quite frankly, yes, we are meant to maintain decorum at all times. But when it comes to issues like this, when people are being burnt, you put yourself in the shoes of those people. Assuming your parents or your children, or how are you going to feel? And so that is how you embrace. It is from that perspective a true leader would come and assuage the people. Feel the pulse of the people, and there should be empathy, not politics. The president was talking with due respect, without even regards to the people. He was boasting. He was talking about politics. It was not, there was no solemnness. There was no attempt to feel the mood of the people. And it's really, really sad that this is what we have gotten to. And this is what you get when you only think that the people that will win you elections are the politicians. You are appealing to the politicians. You are trying to get the people to decamp from one place to the other. You are trying to control the dynamics in other political parties. But you have no zero interest in what happened to the people. That's where we are. Which is very sad.
Now, there have been two sides of the divide to this. Why some people are saying the president his presence is actually needed, not just going to Benue State to go to the communities and feel the pulse of the people. There have been some people, on the other hand, that have of the opinion that he doesn't need to be there. He can micromanage everything. He has sent, we've seen the several security architecture that have been, marched down to the state, from the chief of army staff to the inspector general of police, and all the security brouhaha that have gone on there. That should be enough to calm things down. The president doesn't really have to be there in person. What side of the divide are you?
Well, I think those who maintain that the president doesn't have to identify with the people have got used to the abuse that we call leadership in Nigeria. Over the years, our sensibilities have been abused. We have been seriously raped. And so right now, we don't even know what is right or what is wrong. Being a president is beyond sitting in any office. I give you an example. The few days that they allowed Mr. Osibajo to be president of Nigeria, to be acting president, take your mind, go and look at the places that he visited. Look at the way the mood of the nation was almost changing.
There was a 360 change of almost everything.
So, did he do anything? Did he build any road? Did he bring any CNG bus?
He didn't do any commissioning of any project.
That's what leadership is all about. You are supposed to be able to galvanize the people. You're supposed to see where you want to get to and then mobilize the people to get there. They may not know where you are going, but when they see that you identify with them, when they see that you when they are in trouble, you are there with them, they will follow you. For someone to say that the president, yes, when it comes to fixing security challenges, yes, it's not like we need him to go and fight in the front line or whatever it is. He's supposed to give appropriate directives and put in place a policy framework that would ensure security in the country. That's supposed to be the idea. But a leader must identify with the people. I don't see anywhere else in the world where over 200 people, houses are born, and then the leader will just sit in Abuja and be sipping coffee. It doesn't work that way. Those who are thinking that way, they have been raped. Our humanity has been completely destroyed by this government and the one before. And so because of that, we don't even understand what it means to be a leader anymore. People are just playing politics, how to acquire power for personal aggrandizement. Because I would say personal aggrandizement. I don't think the president is supposed to be looking for money or looking for whatever. He has had enough, But this is just personal. I just want to be president. He said it was my turn. This is your turn. What are you doing with your turn? And you cannot sit in the office and be sipping coffee while people are dying, and you don't want to identify with them. Leadership doesn't work that way. You cannot get the people to follow you to where you are going if you don't identify with them. So those who think that way, I'm sorry, I'll give the excuse for them. Their humanity have been taken away by the abuse that we call leadership in Nigeria.
Okay, Barrister Sia, one more question. Yesterday, we had this conversation. I just want to get your opinion on that, where 17 candidates nominated by President Bola Tinubu to oversee the affairs of Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, Rivers State Civil Service Commission, and Rivers State Local Government Service Commission were officially declared their assets before the Code of Conduct Bureau. And that with everything that's going on with insecurity, with the latest, of course, being in Benue State, we had it in Plateau, in Borno State, we've almost forgotten that there is a state of emergency in River State. The big question is, why is the president and the National Assembly still dealing with River State when the real state of emergency should be focused in especially in Borno, Plateau, and Benue State?
Solomon, the only reason is that it's the same point I've already made, which is that this government and those who are around them are only interested in politics. What is happening in Rivers State, the constitutional rape, the democratic rape in Rivers, is nothing but politics that has been taken too far. And it is shocking that there appears to be no opposition, even from the people. Because all of these things that happen, what is the security issue that the SO administration has been dealing with since he was appointed? I mean, why can't they publish it? Let us see. What is the security challenge?
I mean, there were no security challenges even before the state of emergency.
Is it worse than what we have in Benue, in north central states, in the northeast, in other parts of the country? Why is it that we only decided to declare a state of emergency in Rivers? Obviously, because we wanted to, dance to the tune of somebody we feel has a great impact on our chances for 2027 election, and that is the Emperor Wike in the FCT. This is what is happening, and so I don't want to even talk about them in Rivers, because everything they are doing in Rivers, even the water that the so is drinking in Rivers, is unconstitutional. It is illegal, and nobody should waste time talking about something that is constitutional. I don't care what they are doing in Rivers right now, because it is a shame, and it is something that should never happen in a true democracy.
Okay, Barrister Asia, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for your time and your insight.
Thank you for having me on the program.
That was Elvis Asia, a legal practitioner, current affairs analyst, and of course, oil and gas expert, which was why I brought him here to help us analyze the Dangote Refinery distribution plan and network, and how that will work and that will affect ordinary Nigerians. What does it mean for ordinary Nigerians? Okay, time to open the phone lines. The town hall has been declared open. The number to call 0700-903-903-903. Again, 0700-903-903-903 or 003-692-9933. Again, 003-692-9933. Or better still, call or text us via WhatsApp to 0817175638. 0817175638. 0817175638. Or give us a normal phone call 0700-903-903-903. Okay, we've got our first caller in the house. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Solomon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to your guest, Ben from Eva.
Okay, thank you. Talk to us, please.
All right. Good one for Dangote, for that CNG. It will tell you a lot of things. All those people that smuggle fuel to neighboring African countries, I believe it will cut down. Let them carry diesel and fuel at the same time, I think. CNG, the truck. And I want to use opportunity to advise Nigerians not to convert their vehicles to the CNG.
Why?
If you do not buy CNG, follow come. Don't convert your vehicle. Or if you want to convert, you should know that it's expensive. Or you go to the government licensed company, engineers, and they will do it for you, because CNG, and don't ever buy CNG Tokumbo tank, CNG Tokumbo cylinder. CNG gas and the liquidized LPG, they are different. So cooking gas is different. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The cylinder is lighter. This one is very thick. The type of those gases are quite different. The two of them doesn't work together.
Okay.
So people should be very careful. Until you see politicians, you see president, governor, executive governor, and vice president, senators, you see them convert their own to CNG. Then you go and ask them where they convert. You go to that place and convert our own. They should not be doing this thing for us. CNG is very, very dangerous. It is not what anybody can handle.
Well, so far there've not been, incidents about it. As far as I said before,
there have been incidents in those states.
as far as you go to I've started to go to a government license plates, not your roadside conversion, government license plates.
Let the
Places.
government that license that place, let them convert their own. Leadership by example. I believe in leadership by example.
There have been some of the buses on our road now have been converted to CNG.
All those SUV, Mr. President has Escalade. You convert his Escalade. The President has G1 500. 2020 and 24 model. You should convert it.
How are you sure? How are you sure it's not been converted already?
Let them show us. That is what he has both people. He has 15 special advisors. Let them show us. Okay, to show us like this leadership by example. We don't tell people to carry their vehicle and start converting their vehicle. When you are using petroleum. If you look at their entourage, all of them, no CNG. Is it not an opportunity for Mr. President to line up all those 120 vehicles they line up and go? All of them will be CNG. That is the best advert.
Okay, thank you very much.
So, Mr. Solomon, I want to talk about River State, this electoral chairman. Mr. President, they want to inaugurate. We are saying now that it is an aberration for Mr. President to remove a sitting governor, an elected governor, and the elected members of House of Assembly. Then you say you declare state of emergency. The so-called sole administrator you put was just to be here as a placeholder for some time. After maybe before 5 months, and move out of that place. Now he's appointing electoral chairman. What does that one mean now? They are progressing in error. What type of nonsense is that? How can you suspend our constitution like that? How can Mr. President suspend our constitution like this? Well, look at the way things are going now. If we can suspend, who else will be? You are talking about governors that are looting and this. Why shouldn't governors loot? When they see the number one man doing things anyhow, you just pursue a governor, a sitting governor. And there is no place in the constitution that allows you to remove a governor. And now I told you the other time, if you remember my call, that what they are after is the local government. When we are amending this constitution, we should detach INEC from local government and the state. It is state and local government that handle our election.
Okay.
That is why you see them fighting over local government. This is the only reason why they remove Obara to take over local government so that they will rig election. Another one, there shall never be any result sheet. And that is result sheet. That is where local government and the state. That is where they write nonsense. They change the result. It should only be IREF. IREF should be only collection.
We get your point. We have to leave the line for other people to make their contribution. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, this is what happens when our government do things anyhow to create mistrust. Because even the CNG now will begin to have a skeptic about it. But so far, the information we've gotten, the CNG is quite safe. Just take your cars or your power generator to a licensed CNG mechanical operator, and they will do a very good job for you, and then you can use your CNG. But of course, we're already at a stage where there is a huge and deep mistrust between the government and the governed. So there is a tendency to question everything, and of course, giving rise to conspiracy theory too. Okay, let's speak more call. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well done.
Well done. Tell us the name and where you're calling from, please.
Mr. OK, I'm calling right from Yanakwaja.
Mr. OK from Yanakwaja. Thank you for joining us. Talk to us, Mr. OK.
Anyway, there's nothing. I'm just wondering how, out of 200 million, they say we are. And few people are just dribbling us. This River State issue, it makes me to cry every day. How can they say at the state appoint state independent electoral chairman? It's never done anywhere. This our president claims to be a Democrat. But you have seen this is democracy. Yeah, a solicitor administrator, you will have to appoint another person from another state Honestly, this is, I don't know. But we are so educated and we're so tired. And this is happening. Then he went to Benue State to go and consult people that said, oh no. Even the so-called, that's why even the pastor, the man, to become a governor, there's no sense again. If a Reverend Father will be doing like this, stopping children from going to school, but that the parents is coming, they're turning into politics, it is okay. Dangote, kudos to Dangote. But I've been wondering why Dangote cannot expand his, all this is, MRS station everywhere. So that we can be seeing first to buy. So I thank God for the change that he brought. And believe that by God's grace, the fuel will come down. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okay. The federal government, the state government, the government at all levels needs to do deep sensitization of how they see NG work to kind of eliminate any form of doubt from the people. Let's speak more calls. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Move away from your radio and TV sets.
I'm already out of there.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Tell us your name and where
How are
you're
you?
calling from,
How are
please.
you? Why Solomon?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Okay, I'm an elder who are calling from a solo.
Elder Uwa from Isolo.
Yes, I want to talk about the president visit at Benue.
Okay.
On Monday, when you told us, that president is going to visit Benue, many of us prophesied that he's not going to Benue because of what happened in Benue. He has another motive why he is going. If you can testify the truth, you saw what happened here with him and the people of Benue. Whether it is for the condolence, for the loss of life, or for 2027, he is dreaming that is not real. Inasmuch God is in control of tomorrow. So when you talk about the Dangote Refinery, you find out that all these things are happening because of the bad governance we are having in this country. In 1987, I happened to meet a British consultant in this Lagos that told the people that Nigeria is the richest in the world, but we don't have people to manage our resources, only but criminals. What happened in 87 is what we're experiencing now. I want to tell you really that this government will never be here, will never remain forever. If the Bible told us that Cain killed Abel, and God was about to tell Abel what happened to the brother and how the one single soul, blood, was crying. Talk about more than 200, 300, 500 blood that are lost in this APC government. Our president is such a proud man, and any proud person in anything in life does not care about life, does not care about human being, does not care about how people feel, only feel himself. But whatever has a beginning, God will bring it to an end one day, except if God have decided to respect human being. I want to thank BOP, who is giving us the opportunity to air our view when we are pressed. So what happened at Benue yesterday is a shame and a disappointment to the highest order. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, sir, for your contribution. Okay, let's read a few messages before we go back to our phone calls. Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon. I pity the people of Benue for allowing their children to come out and hail Mr. President. It's so sad. I am Gloria J from Ikeja. I love your voice. Thank you very much, Gloria J from Ikeja. Good afternoon to you in the studio and to your guest. My name is Cesar from Alagbado. Your guest has said it all when it comes to what is happening in petroleum sector. Kudos to Dangote and his policies. The policies are helping to drop the prices of these products and help curb the issues of oil cabals in the government. The president's visit to Benue State was a good move, if not for what it later turned out to be. It was later turned to an avenue for political talks and adverts towards the 2027 election. Nigerians should always learn, always accept we want to continue the whaling. May God help this nation. Thank you very much, Cesar from Alagbado. Okay, let's go back to more calls. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you for joining us on the show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
UK Martins, calling from Oshodi.
UK Martins from Oshodi. Okay, talk to us, UK.
I brought a problem of Nigeria. Number one is corruption. We don't need to convert our cars or vehicles to CNG. The money that politicians have been selling in this country from 1999. I remember when the former governor, immediate past governor, Nelson Wike, raised an alarm that oil vessels disappear on the IT during the Mohammed Buhari are worth billions of dollars. I followed up today. It's gone. EFCC, IPCC don't say anything about it. It's covered. So government Nigeria is not difficult. For stealing, politicians are selling money meant for public. If not because of stealing, we are not supposed to buy from more than 15 naira. The radio station, television station, the journalists, the media know this truth. For most time, how to present talks before public. All these too much grammars have not helped us. When they catch a thief, call him a thief. Simple. These politicians have been stealing public money from local government to federal government. The problem of Nigeria is stealing. So all this grammar they are speaking in radio, television, analyzing, that's the cock and bull stories. They're not supposed to buy for more than 15 naira. You and I know the truth. You know. So the problem of Nigeria is stealing public money. Money meant for public good, for public safety, for public happiness, for public welfare. Somebody will sit down and steal the money. The one that the EFCC discovered, where is the money?
Okay.
The one that the ICPC discovers, where did they channel the money?
UK.
Lack of accountability, transparency.
UK.
We don't see it.
UK. I mean, I agree with you on the corruption, but the problem with the issue with CNG now, it's against field. It's not about corruption. It's about it's about environmental friendly situation here. Petrol.
Yes. Dangote tried. I give kudos to him. Like the former caller said, the politicians have they converted their own. But that is another talk. I give kudos to Dangote. You understand? Dangote tried. But by and large, do we actually need all this long process? Is it not because of corruption? You know what I'm saying. You know. But I give kudos. Dangote tried. What the federal government is saying, the man in charge of CNG, most time I watch them, I just laugh. You're not deceiving Nigerians. We don't need all these bogus and logo processes converting your cars, your generator. Do we ever need to use generator? We don't even need to use generator in Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? The religious leaders and traditional leaders, they are not saying anything. It's just all of them. I discovered with somebody yesterday, most of the religious leaders got general overseer. Just listen to me. They cannot kick against corruption, even in this gas sector, petroleum sector, because some of them are beneficiaries. They are busy building pro-cathedrals. Now, if a general overseer criticizes a sitting governor, a sitting president, the pro-cathedrals have been building for 10 years that worth billions of naira. The envelope will no longer come to him.
Okay.
That's my case. You know what I'm saying.
Okay. We have
Thank you.
to.
God bless you. Bye.
Thank you very much. As I said before, there have to be deep orientation. I mean, so many of us don't know what the CMG is and what it does. We're talking about environmental friendly here. Fuel is not environmental friendly. So the CNG is more environmental friendly. So right now the world is moving from fossil fuel now to liquefied natural gas and moving to electric vehicle. So all that will make the environment. We're talking about climate change here, and fossil fuel contributes. It's a man-made situation causing climate change. Little rains and lots of flood. This is what we're talking about. So National Orientation Agency, you have a lot of work in your hand here, because there is a misconception about what the CMG is supposed to do and achieve. Let us speak more calls. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the show. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the show. Tell us your name. Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Good afternoon. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Will I call you King Solomon or Solomon?
Whichever one is fine. Okay, Paul from Better. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Talk to us, Paul.
Yeah, I love and I liked your presentation today and your guest.
Thank you very much.
It is very irritating, very ungodly, very uncivilized that a nation that was bleeding, where the citizens presumptuously voted the current president into power. We are massacred in Benue State, in Enugu State, in Abia State. The president did not deem it fit to reach to the towns and villages where these occurrences took place, where these innocent people were murdered, burnt to ashes. The president did not wear, the Bible said, mourn with those who mourn and celebrate with those who are celebrated. The president did not wear a cloth to identify with those people that are mourning. Rather, look at what the pastors are giving to us as governors. This is another second pastor. Line up innocent children who have lost their beloved ones under the rain. Under the rain. Tell me, for what for? What for? What for? These children were under the rain. And rain were beating them. People that have lost their family, generations wiped off. You still went and lined them up to begin to welcome Mr. President, and the party flags were everywhere as if nothing happened. It is only in Nigeria, I say it. It is only in Nigeria such thing can happen. It doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. It doesn't.
Okay, thank you very much.
People are taking it. We are living it. What business does Mr. President have to tell us that he knows that some people hate him? Oh, come on! A president?
Okay, thank you very much. We have to leave the phone lines for others to talk. Thank you very much for your contribution. Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Solomon.
Yes, tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Shola, and I'm calling from Egbeda.
Shola from Egbeda. Thank you so much. Talk to us.
See, straight to the point. I have not gotten over yesterday's nightmare of confirmation that Mr. President Tinubu and his board, they are so unrepentant. Just like the last caller said, it's just as if I have concluded that this country is irredeemable or something. Well, what is wrong? Is there a cause on Nigeria? Look at the place where the incident happened. If it were other Senate clients, you will see the president, even maybe wear military fatigue or something, what do they call it? Go to that place, look at BTM. BTM went to those houses. And he was there talking about people hating him. I'm here, I'm the president, and some people are clapping. Look at those innocent children. In fact, is there hope for this country? What kind of people are we? And we are watching. He's asking questions that and there's no arrest. Are we talking about people that shoplifted? We're talking about marauders, people that are killers. It's just as if they're at war. Nigeria is at war. They're supposed to have declared a state of emergency. The forest, those guys are in the forest. They are in the boundaries of Nigeria. They should be cleansed out. Those people should be on alive. And he's playing politics. The people actually deserve the leaders they have. It's a pity for Nigeria. Nigeria is a joke.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you. Okay, more calls. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Hello, good afternoon. You have to call us back. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good afternoon. Me Solo.
Yes, so thank you for joining us on the show.
This is Collins, aka Kelinko Comedy, calling from Ogun State.
Okay, thank you so much, Collins. Talk to us, please.
See, our advice all this Benue youth. What I will advise them like this: make they go to any police station, make they just carry themselves go. They tell them say they want to enter prison, and then they want to stay. Because prison better pass all these places where they kill them like this. Nothing in prison now they no go kill all of them like this. And they gather themselves, go to police station, tell them say they want to enter prison. Finish.
Okay. Let's read more messages. Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon. President Tinubu is not active because of age right from his first day in office. Is there just to fulfill his lifetime ambition at the detriment of the suffering Nigerians? And even when he was active, he was just good in using illegal means and grabbing power, but not good in governance. Think about how he came to power as governor of Lagos State when he is supposed to contest with Funshaw Williams, Festus from K2. Thank you very much, Festus. Petroleum marketers, they are talking about Dangote Refinery monopoly and lost jobs because Dangote wants to be distributing their fuel and diesel. The simple question any reasonable Nigerian will ask Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria is how has Nigerian fared since petroleum marketers have been controlling the distribution of the same commodity called fuel and diesel, etc. The other thing I know petroleum marketers is that they have been deceiving Nigerians for a long time. Chinemere from Agbara, thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You have to call us back. Your network is bad. You have to call us back, please. Sorry. Okay, let's read more messages. Good day, Mr. Solomon and VOP family. The type of reception Benue government and politicians gave Tinubu at a condolence visit shows you that there was not the hope for the survival. There was no hope for the survival of the region, of that region. As well as their painted autumn, he can never have done something like this. And this is a serious cause for concern to every right-thinking Nigerian. When OBJ wife died, politicians were on condolence queue, and at a point OBJ told people to stop coming, that he wants to go back to work. When he went to Jos for state of emergency, there was no political show and strength to point. Even his critics saw his seriousness. May God save our land. Amici from Mafoluku. Thank you, Amici. Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon.
Yes, so thank you for joining us on the show. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
I'm prisoner from Lagos. I'm calling from Alaba.
From Alaba. Okay, talk to us, sir.
The question I have to ask this afternoon is that state governor that forced those children to stay under rain and welcome the so-called president. Is there any of a child among those children? And my question is this.
We don't know. We don't have an answer for that, unfortunately.
Because I know none of his son or his daughter is among those children. You understand? So all these nonsense have to stop in this country. It's too much. It's too much. Honestly speaking, it's too much. You know, because the way things is moving on in this country is, it's very, very rude. It's corrupt. The country is totally corrupt. It's not corrupt. It's very, very bad. Honestly,
It is well.
very bad.
It is well. Thank you very much.
The president did not even move to the particular place that massacre happened. She was just in a Benue, rotating, doing talking nonsense, talking rubbish.
It is well. Thank you very much for calling, sir.
It's all right.
Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon. Shebi, we told you yesterday that your president was going for fun fair and jamboree, which turned out to be true. Let them keep on wasting resources and not making political statements. It's all about 2027 election. They don't know how, if they will see 2027. Let them continue with their wickedness. Chude from Ayetoro. Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. Thank you. Please, 1 minute. 1 minute. We don't have time. I'm sorry. Okay, tell us your name and where you're calling from. Evelyn, right? Okay. Okay.
Mr. Solomon.
Yes.
People are complaining about the year that Mr. President put on when going to Benue State yesterday. I'm not even about the years. If Mr. President likes, let him wear pant and bra. That one is none of my business. This incident happened on Friday. Mr. President now have to release press conference or be speech on Sunday evening. While Pope Leo released send condolence on Sunday morning. Very dark man went to Benue on Saturday. Our president released speech on Sunday. I was now telling us that he have to go and visit Benue people on Wednesday. Like, he was not giving us later ahead when he will go there. Fine, that one is none of my business. Good and fine, he went to the Benue.
Please round up.
To reach the town that the incident happened. Good and fine. What I'm trying to say is that everything that our dear president, my dear president said, he didn't say it as if this thing was really touching him. And that man asked a question that any of those children that Governor Haria said they should come and stand and welcome Mr. President. Sorry, that man is a reverend father, and we know reverend father don't have children, so he doesn't have any. So that one aside. So he didn't talk. Mr. President didn't release press conference like something that is bothering him. See, this country, I've said it before, this democracy that we are practicing, is it the original one or the duplicate?
Or the fake one?
We are practicing the duplicate,
Thank you. We have to go. Thank you.
The president says that something happened, killing human being, not one, not two, not three, not 10.
Thank you. Okay. We have to go. Let me quickly read one or two messages. Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon, the wise one. Do you know, sir, that Malaysia is already phasing out CNG in its country? That which is old school in another country is becoming in vogue in Nigeria. For me, I'm very skeptical of entering any vehicle that converted to CNG. Let Tinubu and his retinue of political associates convert their own SUVs, Escapade, etc. CNG first as example. Thank you, Pascal Chimezie. Okay. What's happening in Benue State is just karma against the Igbos in the past. They must sincerely pray to God forgiveness. Chinedu from Badagry. Good afternoon, King Solo. My name is Taiwo from Oshodi. Why is it that none of the senators and members of House of Reps have converted their cars to CNG, including all the presidential convoys? It's obviously a scam. Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon. Governor Leah lined up school children under the rain to welcome Mr. President. Is it not a sycophancy taken too far? As for River State, RCX chairman nominee by Tinubu, that's the game plan right from the beginning, to capture the 23 local government. Every sector of their policy is captured. God, please come to our aid. Ancelot Anabuna from Alagbado, thank you very much. Anebunwa. Good afternoon, Solomon. Change all your cars to CNG, but what happens aftermath? It's a tragedy to convert all the funds coming from the petroleum into the full pocket of the politicians. The question I'm asking these days is that where is the funds that will continue to be generated from petroleum be going to KGL? Okay. Lekon from Lagos, please. I'm sorry, I won't read your messages too long. I have to sign off. Oh, send short messages, I beg. Okay, unfortunately, we have to go. Thank you very much for your contribution. Do follow our social media handle at VOP903FM. Contribute to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, rather, VOP903FM. Tomorrow is another day at 1:30 p.m. on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. The program is Matters. I am Solomon of Good afternoon.